Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Podcast Best Wrestlers of 2021. I am Luke Owen, DAD, your Jam That Champion, and this is Ollie Davis.
Full of positivity.
Yeah.
For the best wrestlers.
All of the absolute tippity top, bestity best wrestlers of 2021.
Our favourite wrestlers.
Yes.
Or is it?
Well, I mean,
what are the criteria?
So this is how our list works. Every year, I say every year, for the last 2 years is the way we've done it. So previous winners have included Walter, who was in our previous, like in a sort of the office pool, and Will Ospreay's been in an office pool before, Kazuchika Okada, that's been in an office pool. Then we decided to expand it out. So it's not just me, Ollie, Laurie, Adam, P, Andy, and, just the on-screen talent submitting things. The editors are now submitting things. Website writers submit it. Social media team submit things. Patreons get to submit as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the $100 backers.
Oh, I didn't know it'd be sullied by the marks.
And speaking of marks, the greater WrestleTalk family. So that includes Alex Queen of the Ring. That includes Sean Ross Sapp, Denise Salcedo, Going in Raw. All of these sorts of people have been submitting their submissions, their nominations for the best wrestlers of 2021. I collate that data. I ask them for 5 nominations. Whoever their top pick is gets 5 points. Then their second pick gets 4 points. Third pick gets 3 points, and so on.
I wonder, because when you were going through all those things, I was like, well, oh boy, that's a wide variety of opinions. You would think with that many different people involved, we would get a really, as pretty close as you can to an objective view of what people like about wrestling. But then I do think we're all sitting on a certain, we are all the YouTube side of things. There's not like a Jim Cornette style personality in this expanded family.
I suppose not.
So I guess it will be the best wrestlers of our subgenre of wrestling fandom.
Yeah. I mean, for example, some people would argue that Will Ospreay, Shingo Takagi are unquestionably the best wrestlers of this year because they have put on the most 5-star matches. They're not in the top 10.
Some people might say Happy Corbin because he works the marks.
In fact, Will Ospreay couldn't even make it into the top 15 this year.
Well, he's been injured a lot of the time. It's crazy to think he was IWGP heavyweight champion for a cup of tea.
Shingo Takagi was in the top 10 until yesterday when Adam Blompier put in his submissions.
His late submissions.
Very late submissions. They were meant to be done by Tuesday. So his submissions not only knocked Shingo Takagi out of the top 10, it also changed who got the number 1 spot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
By 1 point.
God damn. What a heel Adam is.
So,
but it's all WWE picks, isn't it?
We'll go through this. So we've got a couple of, I'll go through like how many nominations some people got, how many top level nominations people got. Wrestlers that missed out on the top 10 include Shingo Takagi, he got 11 points over 4 nominations. Big E just missed out, got 10 points over 4 nominations. Drew McIntyre, who last year won the WrestleTalk Podcast Best Wrestler, only got 8 points this year. But that was across 2 nominations, both like in second place. But yeah, could only get 8 points this year.
So it works like if I pick Kenny Omega as my number 1 wrestler of the year,
yes, he
is given 5 points.
Correct.
And then it's a 4 points down through it. And if my 5th pick would get 1 point.
That's correct.
I see.
Absolutely, yes. So in at number 10, it's MJF, scoring 12 points, 1 more than Shingo Takagi, over 6 nominations outside of the top 10. It's outside of the top 10 yesterday until Adam's vote came in. And
wow, so this pushed MJF in.
MJF into the top 10.
Fascinating. Well, for me, his match against Darby at Full Gear, oh my God, that's one of my favourite matches of the year. I can't remember whether I actually voted for it.
You did.
I did,
Spoilers,
yes.
that actually did pretty well in the best matches, which we're going to do in a future podcast episode.
Well, I think of all the young stars in wrestling today, he is by far the best. He feels like an instant main eventer. No one can touch him on the mic. Not even like CM Punk.
Well,
I think MJF is probably outshining Punk in all this. and the guy can go in the ring. There was that fantastic main event against Sammy Guevara on Dynamite as well, kicking out of a second rope tombstone pile driver. God damn it.
That's why he was nearly out of the top 10.
Yes.
It's actually that one spot was until Adam, the big spot monkey, came in and voted for him to push him in.
And he's my friend.
He's your friend. Do you think you'll go to WWE in 2024?
Well, I was thinking, this is the big story as we are recording this. I think that WWE can offer them loads and loads and loads of money. And at a point, AEW will be like, we're actually not going to go any higher. But WWE could just keep going higher. And then it really is an MJF's court. Because I think he'll stay with AEW, providing the money is good enough. But if, as we've seen with Kevin Owens, if the money is astronomically better, which WWE are well within their resources to do, maybe he does go. I don't know, the Kevin Owens thing's thrown me.
Well, back to our list here. At number 9, one of my faves of the year, with 7 nominations, including 1 top-level nomination, 14 points, Eddie Kingston.
Oh, was he my top level?
He was.
Yes.
Yeah, your top-level nomination really solidified him within the top 10.
I'm good. Good. I used that. F off Shingo. Honestly, Eddie Kingston for me. I love the guy. Every feud he's been involved in, like we said it last year, no one has had a harder, better rise than Kingston. The guy who was brought in for a one-off match against Cody, and a couple of months later, he's facing Jon Moxley. He is the only good thing about that exploding barbed wire deathmatch finish.
Oh, isn't he just?
Fight me. There's the Miro match. There is just so many fantastic Kingston moments from this year.
There's an image that lives kind of rent-free in my head, which is, you know, when there's feud with CM Punk, or his like very small feud that he had with CM Punk, and they had that promo battle, and he was like sticking his tongue out, being like, bleh, and Punk was looking at him back angrily. It looks like that meme of the woman that's shouting, and then the cat that's just looking stoically, and CM Punk is the cat.
You know what image stands out in my mind from Eddie Kingston this year? It's from the Punk match.
For audio listeners, Ollie Davis was miming masturbation, I guess.
Simulated self-pleasure.
Eddie Kingston as well, jumping into the top 10 this year, because he was only in the top 15 last year.
I mean, for me, he's number 1. But I really did go with, like, who has moved me the most emotionally.
It was interesting watching you, because you were essentially writing your list out loud as you were thinking about it. And I don't think you had Eddie Kingston as your top until you started writing down your favorite matches of the year. And then you were like...
He's in 3 of them.
And you're like, oh my God, Eddie Kingston's the best wrestler of 2021.
Yeah. He's, you know, like, what is best? For me, I went with my heart. Well, what's your thoughts on Eddie?
Oh, loved Kingston. Kingston was in my nominations as well.
Whereabouts?
I think I had him 3rd. I think he got 3 points out of me.
I like him more than you.
You certainly do. But
I like him more than everybody.
Well, pretty much, yeah. But he had a great run.
Eddie.
He had a superb run, and I'm so pleased to see him jump up into the top 10 this year.
Should have been number 1.
Well, I mean, you know, like you had him as your number 1 pick, so he got 5 points. Dan, the mayor of Painesville.
No, what has he done?
Well, because of the way that the nominations work, your top pick gets 5 points. That means that, according to the WrestleTalk podcast, Dustin Rhodes was the 14th best wrestler of 2021 because he got 5 points. And he tied with Edge and Bobby Lashley.
It's a flawed system. I love Dustin Rhodes. 2021 wasn't his year.
I mean, Dexter Lumis also nearly made it in because Dan voted him second,
Dan.
which means gives him 4 points.
Can I vote Dan out of voting?
In at number 8, scoring 17 points across 6 nominations, CM Punk.
10, 9, 8?
Yeah, so MJF was 10th, Eddie Kingston was 9th, CM Punk was 8th.
This is all like CM Punk. So is next Darby Allin?
Darby Allin is not in the top 10, I'm afraid.
I mean, what more can be said? Maybe if he had a full year, he'd be up higher. It certainly had some of the best matches. Well, the Kingston one.
That's it. I think that's why he's not higher in this list, is because that Kingston match is probably the best Punk match that we've had. And arguably, it's the only really good Punk match that we've had, because the Derby match was more just a showcase match essentially, whereas the Kingston match was something he could actually sink his teeth into. Everything else, it's been TV matches that have gone 10 minutes against lower card guys, because the story they're telling is CM Punk isn't as good as he once was.
Underwhelming victories against underwhelming opponents.
Quite the opposite for number 7, who was high in my rankings as well. Across 8 nominations, 18 points, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Are we going to get any WWE stars?
There are some.
Good. I don't want to be accused too much of bias.
It's not our bias though. Like, it's across. There's a lot of people that vote in this. We had 35 nominations come in. So like 35 submissions come in. So it's not just our internal bias and the TK coin buying all the Christmas presents for my kid.
Yeah, but like 20 of those 35 people are AEW behind the scenes guys, right?
You're right. Yeah, the system is flawed.
Also, like, you know, we're friends with all these people. We kind of gravitate towards people who share similar interests to you.
You're talking about the people who are nominating, not the AEW wrestlers.
Yeah.
Although Britt Baker apparently does know who I am.
Britt Baker.
I've yet to see any proof of this, but apparently she does know who I am.
Well, fantastic match against Thunder Rosa.
Yep. She's
been women's champion all year. She is CM Punk's favorite wrestler, seemingly. Me, personally, I don't think I voted for her. She's only had the one great match for me. I don't think that's her fault. I just think, you know, it's an AEW women's thing, so it's not as pronounced as it should be.
Number 6. Now, Pete made a point about this. And I think Pete did nominate this next entry, but he did also have the caveat of, I don't think I should vote for him because although he is my favorite, I don't think it's been his best year. But in number 6, jumping into the top 10 from last year with 20 points across 6 nominations is Adam Cole, baby. Pete's point was, yeah, he's my favorite wrestler. Whenever he's on TV, I'm really excited. But is he one of the best wrestlers this year, or is he just my favorite wrestler?
Well, he obviously jumped ship. That was a huge moment. Quickly overshadowed by Bryan Danielson. What entrance music? Was he NXT champion this year? Did he have was he champion at 30?
He felt like he was feuding with Kyle O'Reilly for most of the year.
Oh, God, I'm getting Quizzlemania flashbacks. Stand and Deliver? That happened.
Let's have a look. I should have done an NXT championship. Hold on.
Have you gone to Adam Cole's
I did go to Adam Cole's Wikipedia page. There are people who are listening and watching this who are yelling at us, being like, how is this your job? List of NXT champions.
There's too many champions to keep track of in my head.
Hold on, I'm nearly there. Karrion Kross, Finn Balor. No, Adam Cole hasn't been champion since June of last year.
Wow. Okay, what's happened is I've merged 2 years into one.
Actually, I was June of 2019, sorry.
Huh?
Yeah, Adam Cole, June 2019. Then it was Keith Lee, June 2020. Karrion Kross, August 2020. Finn Balor, September 2020. Karrion Kross, April 2021. Samoa Joe, August 2021. Tommaso Ciampa, September 2021.
Okay,
and it was vacated twice within that period.
In my head, the Adam Cole car park brawl was for the title.
Yeah, so he had
it
was. Sorry, I mean I should clarify. He had it until July, which is when he lost it. July 2020. Which is when he lost it to Keith Lee.
That's okay.
Yes.
That makes sense in my head now. Sorry.
That was
everybody had to see that,
the
workings. Well, he's gone from not being NXT champion to feuding with Orange Cassidy.
I like it.
Uncontroversially.
I like it. I think it's a very good feud for him. Like, Orange Cassidy's a big star within the company. This is like when people said, man, they really should start doing something with CM Punk. On the episode when he started a feud with Eddie Kingston of all people. I should note as well, Adam Cole did get one top-level nomination, but it was from Grand Pooh Bear, and Pooh Bear submitted being like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously I'm picking
I
Adam
have
Cole.
to. They're anonymous. They could be anonymous. I love Adam Cole. I think that kid's really going to break out next year. But this year for me wasn't his year. It wasn't a number 6 year, was it? This is a setup year for next year.
I completely agree with that. Like I feel like Eddie Kingston and MJF should have been higher in the pecking order for that. I didn't vote for Adam Cole. 27 points for 5th place across 11 nominations for the EST, Bianca Belair.
Good. Nice to see women in the top 10.
Yeah,
You know, when we do
two
this,
of them.
I'm always concerned that no one will vote for because I didn't.
Yeah, you're
I'm just
damn
all
sexist.
Yeah, misogyny over here. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was champion, and Becky Lynch beat her.
I think that's it. Like
Won the Royal Rumble.
She won the Royal Rumble. She had that incredible main event against Sasha Banks. And unfortunately, I don't think she really did anything greater after that. It felt like all of the feuds she had after that were sort of lesser versions of everything she was doing earlier in the year. And I don't think her feud with Doudrop is setting the world on fire. I think her being constantly put into title shots after she lost the belt didn't do her any favors either. I think that has lowered her down slightly in the pecking order of some people's voting, as opposed to, I mean, look, fair enough. What she's done this year was better than what she did last year, which was nothing, because she debuted the night after WrestleMania and was kept off TV for 8 months.
Oh, she did some sprints. Remember they filmed her?
Oh, yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, look how fast Bianca Belair is.
Well,
if she won the title off of Charlotte Flair, and it's weird, isn't it? Because these are kayfabe decisions. And what is best? You know, am I mixing shoot or kayfabe? I don't know. But for me, if Bianca Belair won the title off of Charlotte, I'd be like, this was a great year overall. But yeah, it's quite front loaded with the Rumble win and the Mania match.
Yeah. Speaking of being backloaded, perhaps. So we jump up now from 5th place to 4th place and 27 points to 48 points.
Wow.
Because Bianca Belair got 11 nominations. Who came in 4th got 25 nominations and 5 top-level nominations.
Damn.
It's the current AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, well, this was his year. After 2 years of storyline, arguably 3, arguably probably 8 years,
Yeah, probably.
he captured the AEW World Championship.
Yeah. This was the year of Cowboy S-words. Like the rise. I mean, I think back to that Dark Order 10-man tag, that entrance, that pop. We all thought there was some way it was going to be all out. You remember when they announced Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for All Out, and everyone was like, "That won't be the main event, though, will it?"
Yeah.
Like they'll find a way for it to be Hangman Adam Page, though, won't they? And as it turns out, no, it was Christian Cage.
He had a baby.
He
You know,
baby.
Personally, I don't know if that counts in the best wrestlers of 2021, but I'm happy for him there.
It puts him in my good books.
Yeah.
Up next, so Hangman Page was 3rd until yesterday when another vote came in from Adam. Adam voted this person as the 2nd best wrestler of the year, and that jumped him above Hangman Page with 49 points, so beating Hangman by just 1. 18 nominations, 1 top-level nom, Roman Reigns.
How can you argue with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's amazing. His character's amazing. He's got a whole group of people around him. The Brock Lesnar stuff with Paul Heyman is definitely the best long-term story in WWE right now. Yeah. I cannot believe I'm saying this. Like 2018 Ollie would be like, what? But yeah, he's incredible.
I think for Reigns, again, it feels like the Bianca Belair thing. A lot of the best stuff that Reigns has done was very much in the start of the year, because it was the Kevin Owens feud, and then it was the Bryan feud, then it was the Cesaro feud. And I was like, oh man, that was all wicked stuff. And that was like the first 5 months of the year. Then I think the Cena thing kind of like Reigns felt like he went off the boil for a bit. The Finn Balor feud didn't help either. And I think now the Brock Lesnar feud has made people interested in Roman Reigns again and Roman Reigns as champion, particularly because Brock seems like he's having so much fun in the feud. So I think that has really helped Roman Reigns' stock rise back up.
I think if going off the boil is main eventing SummerSlam with John Cena, there's a pretty good year.
Yeah, but I think what I mean by that is interest.
Yes.
And this is what I love about our nomination system. So Roman Reigns there scored 49 points. Our 2nd place scored 106 points. Because Roman Reigns had 18 nominations with 1 top-level nominations. Our 2nd best wrestler of the year had 27 nominations, 11 top-level nominations, and was number 1 until Adam's vote yesterday. With 106 points, it's Kenny Omega.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Danielson. I'm guessing he's number 1.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler. Wow. Kenny Omega. I mean, yeah.
For me, Kenny for me is the best wrestler of the year. I think Kenny has had nothing but bangers all year long.
Same with Danielson.
I was about to say, you can make the same argument for Danielson. Plus, Danielson had the jump, which is what I think puts him in, which we'll get onto that in just a moment. But I think for me, Omega's had some of my favorite matches of this year. And I have loved the act with the Elite. I've loved his partnership with Don Callis. Loved his... I might be the only one who sings from this hymn sheet, but I loved the triple threat at Double or Nothing against Orange Cassidy and Pac.
You've got a lot of company there. That's one of the best triple threats of all time.
Oh, my God, it was so much fun. And I made the point that my favorite thing about Kenny Omega, above, say, Roman Reigns, for example, is that I've never bought anyone taking the title off of Roman Reigns. But I have bought everyone taking the title off of Kenny Omega, even though I'm very confident going in that Kenny Omega is retaining.
Yeah, that's a good distinction, actually. Some people might see Reigns' all-powerful dominance as a plus. But yeah, personally, I think wrestling, you want to believe people have weaknesses and the title could change hands. That's what sells the tickets, really.
Yeah, that's for me. Agreed. So I thought Kenny Omega was a shoo-in to win. It really was a tussle between him and Danielson this entire time. So yeah, number one, 107 points, one more than Kenny Omega. 28 overall nominations, 12 top-level nominations. Bryan Danielson is the WrestleTalk Podcast Best Wrestler of 2021.
Yeah, well, you know, he had a great start to the year. To main event a WrestleMania and have that match, like that triple threat was awesome. Yeah. That's in my top 5 matches of the year. And then, did he main event? He didn't main event any AEW shows.
But Grand Slam, he technically main evented the Dynamite. Yeah.
Well,
no, it wasn't. It was the opener, wasn't it? Because Britt Baker was the main event.
But he's had 2 huge AEW main events. Can be considered the openers sometimes, I think.
Yeah, and we should as well. Like, all these nominations came in before Winter is Coming. So this was...
Could have shot down afterwards.
All of these Danielson votes were coming in pretty much off the back of the Miro match. That was like the last big thing that he had done in terms of when these nominations... Because then he started the Dark Order thing. I think everyone's nominations have come in from the Roman Reigns feud in WWE when he left, the jump to AEW, the match with Kenny Omega at Grand Slam, and then Eddie Kingston on Rampage, Minoru Suzuki on Rampage. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to...
Dustin Rhodes.
I don't want to give away too many spoilers for the Best Matches podcast in a couple of days' time. He's featured in a lot. He's featured a lot across the top 10.
Well, what more can you say then, really? If he's having all the best matches, he had the biggest defection. CM Punk's more of a return, I suppose. Of course, he's the best wrestler of the year.
It's also interesting to note as well, this is the final thing to know before we get out of here. A lot of changes from last year's list. Obviously, Drew McIntyre won last year. He was 13th this year with only 2 nominations.
Not a good year for... I mean, it's not like he's done anything bad. He's still relatively protected, but just hasn't been main event featured that much.
Which is what? He was WWE champion at the start of the year.
Yeah, but then The Miz happened.
And then he was feuding with Bobby Lashley for a bit. And then... just been walking around with a sword stabbing Adam Pearce's desk.
And Sheamus.
Also falling out of our top 10 from last year. Just wonder if any of these names jump out to you. Jon Moxley, Sasha Banks, Bayley, for obvious reasons she's not been around, Keith Lee, Cody Rhodes, and Chris Jericho.
Well, Jericho, yeah, I can see why that is. Moxley, I think he was probably on the cusp. He was on course for something special with his character. But, addiction's a terrible thing, and he made the right choice by going to tackle those demons first. Bayley's not been around. Banks hasn't done much, really. She had the Mania main event, but then weirdly missing from SummerSlam.
Yeah, Moxley only got 1 nomination overall, and that was a 2-pointer as well. Sasha Banks didn't get any nominations, as far as I can see. Keith Lee didn't either. Cody Rhodes didn't, and Chris Jericho didn't get any nominations this year either.
Wow.
So there were some really interesting names actually. Ty Conti got 1 vote. Oh no, Sasha Banks did get 1 vote. There she is. Ty Conti got 1 vote from Andy Datson.
Yep.
Seth Rollins got a 1-point vote, as did Matt Riddle, Io Shirai, Charlotte Flair, Ilya Dragunov, and Jonathan Gresham, and Session Moth Martina getting 1 point nominations.
1 point.
And Brian Myers, again, nearly made it into these. That's all we've got time for on this edition of the WrestleTalk podcast. Thank you to everyone who voted. Thank you for everyone who put in your submissions. Why don't you tell us who your best wrestler of 2021 is in the comments down below? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know down below. Hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas, everyone. I have been Luke Owen, DAD, your Jam That Champion. That has been Ollie Davis. Jam that jam, everyone.